What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another review. And this time we're taking a look at Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds, starring Rod Taylor and Tippi Hedren. The Birds tells a story about how a bunch of birds attacked this small town of Bodega Bay in California. All right, that's the overall story of the movie. Let's waste no time. Let's talk about it. The Birds is based off a short story by Daphne DeMauer. I never read the short story, and I have no interest in it. And I have no interest in reading the short story, mainly because I just never liked this movie. I don't have a dying hatred for The Birds, but The Birds as a movie just never resonated with me. This was Alfred Hitchcock's follow-up to Psycho, and this movie tries to be like Psycho, but it doesn't. The Birds is not like Psycho. The Birds not have that technical precision of Psycho. It doesn't have that rich suspense of Psycho. It doesn't have that interesting story or interesting characters like Psycho does. I think The Birds is just a very middle of the road and bland animal horror movie. And the only reason why, to me, The Birds is memorable is because it is made it is made by Alfred Hitchcock, and he brings his signature style to this movie, which makes it stand out. If The Birds was done by any other director, this movie would have been a disaster, to me at least. So let me just get my positives out of the way first. I overall think the cast in this movie is solid. Rod Taylor, Tippi Hedren, Jessica Tandy, those are our three main principal actors. You know, Rod Taylor plays Mitch, who is the hero. Melanie plays the love interest. Tippi Hedren's the love interest, and Jessica Tandy plays the mother of the Mitch character. I thought the three of them, they were fine in this movie. Their characters are not all that interesting. They're kind of bland and forgettable, but at least the actors try with the material that they're given. At least the acting is fine, and at least Taylor and Hedren have some decent on-screen chemistry with one another. So, and I'm not going to criticize the acting because the acting is fine. The actors all did what they could with the material that they were given. Even the supporting cast, which includes Veronica Cartwright, I thought she was fine. A young Veronica Cartwright before she did Alien. She played the sister of the Mitch character. I believe it's her sister. I may have missed her. I think it's her sister. Yeah, I think she plays his young sister. But for a child actress at the time, I thought she was okay in the role. No, she has moments where she can come across as a little bit annoying, especially when she's trying to act all fearful. She just sounds very screechy and just very scratchy to me. But for the most part, I thought Veronica Cartwright was okay. I thought the actress who played, I don't remember what the character's name was. She was like a love interest of Mitch before the movie starts. She was fine too. She kind of develops a friendship with the Melanie character. You know, all that was fine too. So yeah, the acting in this movie, I got no complaints. Everyone did fine. The overall production value and aspect of this movie, I thought was good. This is an Alfred Hitchcock movie. You know what you're getting with an Alfred Hitchcock movie. You're getting this very stylized and very polished look. I'll give Hitchcock this. He does know how to build suspense. He does know how to build dread. And he does know how to make these birds come across as like a force against man, pretty much. He made the birds look like forces of nature that can't be stopped. And I applaud the man. He legitimately took a silly concept of birds gone crazy and tried to make it scary and tried to do something with it. I think in some aspects he succeeded, in other aspects not so much. It all depends on how you view this movie just as a whole. So I give the overall production fine. It's a Hitchcock movie. Hitchcock will go down as one of the greatest directors of all time. I got no complaints with that whatsoever. Now, let's get on to the things that I do not like about this movie. The overall pacing of this movie, I don't like it at all. I think the first hour is an absolute bore. I think it drags on. You have some moments with the birds attacking, but they're few and far between, and they come across more like minor incidents, and there's nothing too hectic. You literally have to wait for the hour mark for this movie to actually start to pick up steam. The first half of this movie is just plotty, it's very draggy. And I understand you're trying to build up the relationship between Melanie and Mitch, but you could have done that in 20 minutes instead of doing that for almost an entire hour of runtime. And that, to me, is one of the biggest flaws I got against this movie, is that first hour is a complete bore. It's not exciting whatsoever. Like the character, I think it would have been more exciting if like this stuff was happening as the birds were attacking more frequently, instead of having those attacks be very peppered out. Like, the movie really does not pick up steam until Jessica Tandy discovers the dead body of a guy in his house on his farm, and she has the most hilarious reaction to it as she's running around like this. And then you have the attack on the school children, and then you have the attack on the school children, and then you have the town of Bodega pretty much going up in flames when the birds just destroy everything. And the whole last act, when they're trapped and barricaded inside the house, is actually pretty well done, I ain't gonna lie. Though, I think this movie had the Melanie character make stupid decisions, especially when you get to like the last 10 minutes where she goes into a room that she knows she's going to get attacked, and yet she opened that door anyway. Stupid, dumb. Why did we do this for? You made this character come across as a complete dunce because she almost gets herself killed because of her own stupidity, because of curiosity. Woman, you know birds are crashing into this house. Why in God's name would you open the door? Dumb writing on that part. And you made the character of Melanie come across as a complete airhead. Like, she should know better. And she comes across as somebody who does not know better, who knows nothing at all. So yeah, that stuff was stupid. Like I say, even though I think the second half is better, you still got some really confusing, stupid things in it that make these characters come across as complete airheads and dunces. And another flaw I got with this movie is that we never fully understand why these birds are attacking. Like, there's a scene at a diner where this lady comes across like a bird expert, and we think she's gonna like give explanations as to why these birds might be attacking, but she overall just explains the difference between a crow and a blackbird, and that's it. And then you have the crazy Ralph saying, we're doomed, God is sitting us. So, okay, both of these two added nothing to the overall explanation as to why the birds are attacking, and we never find out why the birds attack anyway. So yeah, like I said, I do not hate this movie with a dying passion. I just do not care for this movie at all. I think this is one of Hitchcock's weakest movies. It does have some good aspects to it. I can appreciate the fact that this is one of those early movies to actually show gore. Like, we actually see a character with his eyes plucked out. We actually see blood in the aftermath of violence. Like, this movie, broke some rules by 1963 standards where we didn't see stuff like that. I give it a lot of credit for that. I like the stylized look of this movie. I like the acting, even though I think the characters are very dull and forgettable. I think the overall special effects with the birds, yeah, you look at it now, it looks hokey as shit, but at least they tried to make it look somewhat realistic. And I like how they actually did use some real birds in this movie as well. I thought that came across as like the legitimately creepy in some areas. But yeah, like, to me, The Birds as an overall movie, it's a mixed bag. I know this movie is popular amongst some people who do like this movie. I am in the camp of somebody who's just like, it's middle of the road. I don't hate this movie, but I'm not gonna cry myself to sleep if I never see The Birds. So with all that being said, I'm just gonna give this movie a solid 6.5 out of 10. It's a decent survivalist horror movie, but I don't consider this to be one of Hitchcock's best works. That's just my opinion. I'm sticking to it. Well, let me know your thoughts in the comment sections down below. Like the video and subscribe, and I'll check you back next time for more.